Hola a todos! Today we're going to talk about indirect object pronouns. By the end of the day, you will be able to use indirect object pronouns to talk about people involved in travel plans and other activities. Primero lee la página 46 en Avancemos y después completa esas actividades. Usa el vocab en Quizlet para apoyarte. A quick grammar review, as you'll remember from yesterday's lesson. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. So instead of saying, Haley is my friend, Haley has blonde hair, we throw in this pronoun right now. She has blonde hair, right? Same thing in español. Haley es mi amiga, ella tiene pelo rubio. These are both acting as subject pronouns. I will not ask you to identify subject pronouns, object pronouns. Just know how to use the right one. We also yesterday talked about direct object pronouns. Our direct object pronouns were me, te, le. Nope, that's today. Sorry, spoiler alert. Me, te, lo, or la. Nos, os, los, or las. Direct object pronouns replace direct objects. Ha ha ha. So direct object is the thing that receives the action, like the plant, or it in the sentences. The dinosaurs ate the plant, or they ate it. Right? So los dinosaurios comieron la planta. Ellos, oh, there should be la. I don't think I caught that last time. Ellos la comieron. They ate the plant. They ate it. Sweet. Today we're talking about indirect objects. An indirect object tells who, like to whom, or for whom an action takes place. So in the example, Caleb buys me flowers. Flowers are our direct object. So he buys me them. Them is a direct object. But he buys me flowers. Now me is functioning as the indirect object. So que me compra flores, me las compra. It will always go indirect object followed by your direct object pronoun. That is always the order in Spanish. I'm gonna go ahead and make this red for color coding purposes. There you go. Okay, anyway. Another hint is if you can put, in order to determine the difference between a direct object and an indirect object, is your indirect object can always go in a prepositional phrase. For example, if I can't tell the difference between me and flowers, I can say Caleb buys flowers for me, or he gives them to me. Those are prepositional phrases. That's how I know who my indirect object is. Our indirect object pronouns in Spanish are the same as our direct object pronouns in Spanish, with two exceptions. We still have me, te, but instead of lo, we say le. We still have nos and os, but instead of los or las, we just say les. You'll remember our indirect object pronouns because these are the guys that we use when we talk about gustar. Say me gusta, te gusta, le gusta, nos gusta, os gusta, les gusta. We are using indirect object pronouns with gustar. So that is a fun little throwback. Anyway, so use indirect object pronouns to clarify to whom or for whom an action takes place. Also, fun English fact, sometimes when we say him, her, them, we don't know who we're talking about. It's like, oh yeah, I gave it to him. You know, I gave him the present. Okay, but like, who is him? So we might need to clarify. Just like when we use le and les, if it's not clear, you can always throw a followed by the person's name and that clarifies to whom you are talking about. So if you say, oh, le doy las flores, I don't know who you gave flowers to. Did you give him the flowers? Did you give her the flowers? Like, what? But we say, le doy las flores a Juana. I gave the flowers to Juana. Oh, okay, now I know who you're talking about. In English, this doesn't hold up. We wouldn't say, oh, I gave her the flowers to Juana. We would just say, I gave the flowers to Juana. But in Spanish, we need both le and a Juana. So that's exciting. Just like with our direct object pronouns yesterday, if you have two verbs in a row, like tienes and contestar, your pronoun is either going to go right before the conjugated verb or it'll be attached onto the end of the infinitive verb. Awesome. So that's indirect object pronouns in a nutshell. Hopefully this is a review for you, but if it's your first, encounter, hope it was a great one. Okay, these are your key ideas. Know them, love them. Now we're going to use them. Open up your book and complete these 3 activities. Go ahead and read over Actividad 12 and try it and check back for the answers. Okay. Número 1 es el modelo, the model for you. We're supposed to say que el agente da el itinerario a mis padres. Gives them to my parents. Les goes with a mis padres. So that's why we pick les, because it's like to them. He gives them the itinerary. Número 2. A la agente. If you give something to the agent, you give it to her. We're going to use le to replace her. Número 3 es a mí y a mi hermano, to me and my brother. This is a tricky one because my brother and I, you give something to me and my brother, that's us. You give to us. Like this is a nos. Nos dan equipaje. They give us the new equipment. So this was to her. He pays her the money. They give us the equipment, the luggage. Número 4 es a mí. My mom gives me. She gifts me, in fact. So to me, we're going to want to use me. I'm not going to translate it because it's the same. Haha. Okay. Número 5. A ti. We're giving this to you. We're going to say te. I give you my dog when I'm on vacation, because dog sitting is a noble endeavor. I highly recommend it, by the way. Y número 6, al auxiliar, to the flight attendant, or to the assistant, to whomever, le damos. Le, because we give it to him. We give it to him. Notice that the verb still matches the subject. So that does not change. The agreement from subject to verb, oh, just kidding, is always the same. Okay, en actividad 3 se van a escuchar el audio. Esto es un enlace, you can tap on it and it'll open a thing. Y completa las oraciones con mételenos les. Métenlenos les. Good. Some of them you have to listen a little carefully because he doesn't straight up say it, but some of them he straight up says. So go ahead and take some time, listen to his audio, and come back to check your work. Ready? Here goes. Didn't get it? Listen again to the audio. We have le, nos, les, me, and les. Because, you know what? If you have questions, reach out to me in class. I'd love to point them out to you. Y finalmente, actividad 14. Oh, it's not finalmente. Tenemos muchas actividades más. Just kidding. Actividad 14. Primero contesta las preguntas y después pregúntalas a tu compañero. So we have some questions in our textbook. I'm going to give you my answers. Yeah, and then they can vary. You don't have to say exactly what I said. Número uno, I put them both because it really kind of depends. But anyway, número dos, mis abuelos me dan el dinero. Me, because they give it to me. If you said mi padre or whatever, make sure that's just da and not dan. Número tres, mi hermano les da más problemas. He gives to my parents, he gives them more problems. If you want to know why, ask me in class. It's a funny story. Número 4. La profesora de matemáticas me va a dar más tarea. Because my math teacher always gave me more homework than my Spanish teacher did. So that's why I'm a Spanish teacher. I'm just kidding. I'm both, and that's funny. Okay, número 5. Le escribo a mi mejor amigo. I don't write a lot of emails. I actually interpreted this as texting. I don't like group chats, so I text people individually. So I said, le escribo a mi mejor amigo. Just one person. So that's actividad 14. Now go ahead and ask these questions to your partner and see what they say. See what you have in common. That'll be super interesting. Pause the video, talk to them. Now that you have chatted with your partner, we're going to complete a paragraph. Primero inserta una captura de pantalla del párrafo y complétalo con el pronombre de objeto indirecto apropiado. So what is the best indirect object pronoun? Well, let's figure it out. Estamos tan contentos. We are so happy. Papá dice que vamos a hacer un viaje magnífico. Okay, Papá is telling someone that we're going to have a magnificent trip. Well, who's he telling? He's telling us. So how are we going to say us? Let's go with nos. Nos dice que vamos a hacer un viaje magnífico. Bueno, próximo. Primero, él habla a la gente de viajes. Oh, he speaks to the agents. Ooh, that would be, speaks to him. So he talks to him, speaks with him, is le habla. Luego, todos vamos a la agencia de viajes. El agente da los boletos a papá. Ooh, see, that was really tricky because I thought he was gonna just be like, oh, yeah, okay. Later, we all go to the agency and then the agent gives us the tickets. But that's not true, is it? We have to keep reading. Da los boletos a papá. He gives dad the tickets. So to say he gives him the tickets, we want to do le again. Le da los boletos a papá. Y entonces dice a nosotros. Oh, how cute. That's so nice. It's right there. He tells us. To tell us something, nos dice. Nos dice que todos tenemos que tener identificación. Más tarde, mamá pide más información a las personas. She asks the people for more information. So she asks them for more information. Les pide. Les pide más información en la oficina de turismo. Vamos a un lugar con playa. Por eso, mamá dice a mí. Mom tells me, so me dice a mí, que necesito llevar el traje de baño. ¡Qué divertida! Divertido? I really can't read his writing. En el viaje a comprar algo que te va a gustar. Whoa, that's a tricky one. How exciting, how fun. On the trip, I will buy somebody, I am going to buy somebody, something that you will like. We're going to take a wild assumption there and assume that they will buy you something that you will like. So buy something for you. Te. Oh, so nice. Isn't that so cute? Awesome. So exciting. Okay. Now go ahead and read your little blurb for activity 16. La comparación cultural sobre la naturaleza de Costa Rica. Corrija las oraciones. I can't speak. It's too late. Las oraciones falsas. Straight up, you can correct it and be like, oh, Costa Rica es un país enorme. No, es un estado enorme. Like, correct it like that. You don't have to rewrite it, but don't literally do that correction because that correction would be wrong. Sometimes corrections are difficult and you're like, una reserva es un parque donde la naturaleza no está protegida. That's not true. Where nature is protected. Haha, like that's valid. That's a valid correction. What's not a valid correction is Costa Rica no es un país enorme. That doesn't tell me that you understand the actual fact. So do not correct it like this. This is an okay correction. Instead, correct something that will make the sentence true. Anyway, ask the questions. And then we will do this in class, chatting with each other. Yep. Okay, if you have any questions, please reach out. Otherwise, have a wonderful time on the rest of your activities.